Anchor price prediction.
Let's get into it.
So today, guys, we're going to be taking a cheeky look at Anchor and specifically the price prediction for the Anchor coin for the month of May. We're going to be taking a look at the daily chart, the 4-hourly chart, and the hourly chart, see what's been happening with the price action of Anchor. We'll be looking at those key technical indicators like a Fibonacci retracement, the 50, 100, 200 moving averages, along with the volumes and that relative strength index. We'll get a good idea of where Anchor is right now, and then obviously look ahead to what we think might happen during the month of May. We'll have a look at those juicy price predictions. Now, as we get into this, if you find this video useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with those new cryptocurrencies and hidden gems that we talk about here, then do consider subscribing to the channel. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here at Cheeky Crypto. It is free, you'll stay well informed, so why not? And of course, by hitting that bell notification, you'll get all those juicy notifications directly sent to you and you won't miss a single thing. Right, Chris, with all that said and done, is there anything else you would like to add before we jump on down to the charts and start talking about our Anchor price predictions?
Yeah, just let us know what your Anchor price prediction is for May. Really interested to know.
Fantastic. Right, let's jump on down. This is Anchor to the USDT daily chart, and Binance is the data source. Now, to start with, we have got a Fibonacci retracement tool on here, and this particular Fibonacci runs from the low level of the 21st of March through to that high point up on the 28th of March. That was a 7-day run that saw 222.5% in juicy gains. Since then, we have actually traded sideways now for 29 days, and Bitcoin correction actually pulled this thing down to the 236 area on the chart just here. Now, before Bitcoin did start its correction, we actually were making some pretty good headway. We were taking the relative strength index from a low point of 55, and we rallied this thing up to about 67. Things were looking pretty good, just getting into that 786 area. When Bitcoin had its correction, however, we pulled straight down to the 50% retracement zones, the 382 correction zone, and then even a wick down to that 236 area. Now, since then, we have actually found good support here on that 50 moving average, and you can see that just here on the chart. Now, that mainly is a good area of support for Anchor, and that did come in at about 12.4 cents. And since then, we have now reclaimed the 50% retracement area and flipped and turned that into a good area of support. That is at 14.1, and the 14.1 cent is a good area of support at the moment on this daily chart. We are currently trading at the point of recording this video at about 15.2 cents, and things are looking pretty good. Now, if we take a look at the volumes, on the other hand, the volumes are incredibly low. The volumes do need to improve if we want to continue a decent rally to the upside. And we have started to utilize some of that relative strength index from a pretty low position down here of 41 and to where we are right now at about 53. So loads of room still on that relative strength index to grow, and loads of room to continue the price rally here for Anchor. But we really do need to see that volume increase. What I'm going to do is pull this down into our 4-hourly chart and just see what else is going on here. I'll just expand those candles so you get a bigger view of what is going on. And I'm going to grab hold of our little brush icon just over here. And we're going to just talk about what we can see happening here. So ultimately, we do have that rally from our low point down here on that 236, and we can see that within the candles. And obviously, we came and turned the 382 area here into an area of support, with one wick just proceeding down a little bit. Otherwise, we've had good area of support here and here. Now, ultimately, we found resistance up on that 50% retracement, and then we broke through the 50 moving average, which was an area of resistance, and you can see that just in here. And ultimately, we broke through there and actually have now flipped and turned both the 50 moving average and the 50% retracement zone into an area of support on this 4-hourly chart. But it does look like we are fighting up against a little bit of resistance on that 200 moving average, so we're looking to battle our way through that at the moment. we can see that the volumes are still decreasing over time, and ultimately we do need to increase in volume if we expect a good rally here with ANKR. Now we're doing well, and we have utilized a lot of our relative strength index in order to rally as high as we have done. That has become an area of oversold through to an area almost overbought here at 64 on the chart. So we have been utilizing a lot of that relative strength index without doing too much to the price because the volumes just were not there. With that being said, we are looking for a short-term correction, and then after that correction, we'll look to continue our rally to the upside. Now, what we're going to do is just pull this down into our 1 hourly view. And again, this shows us more of that detail of what's going on here. We can see how the 50 moving average, the 100 moving average have had a cross recently. And the 200 moving average up here is actually been acting as an area of both resistance and now support. So it was resistance over here and has now been turned into a support line over here. So again, this is really working for us as we continue to rally the price of ANKR. Now, again, those volumes, when we were nice and low on that relative strength index, we reutilized a lot of that relative strength index without doing, with doing a fair amount of price discovery, I should say. But the volumes are decreasing over time. And what we're looking for is to get volume higher than we had over here during that selling period. Now, at the moment, the volumes are nice and low, but we are quite high on this relative strength index. So on this hourly chart, we're looking to actually get a short-term correction to correct that relative strength index to the downside, get this nice and low again, get the volume kicking back up again, and then allowing us to continue this rally to the upside. So things in the short term are looking like we're going to have a slight pullback. We're probably, in my opinion, going to fall back to about 14.7 cent. That's going to be an area I'm just going to mark up on here very briefly. Let me just pull that up. We're going to say approximately around here, 14.7. Okay, so we're going to probably pull back, slight pullback on the chart here to about 14.7, correct that relative strength index, get it to a reasonable level here, and then we'll continue our rally back to the upside, and where we're looking to take out that 618 area. Now what I'm going to do is just pull this back into our daily and talk about the main subject matter, which is price and price predictions for the month of May. So the month of May is going to be an interesting month, Chris, for the majority of altcoins. They've had a pretty steep correction during April, and May is definitely going to be an interesting month in terms of price discovery. Now, the first thing that we're going to talk about here is where we can see ANKR potentially going in that short term, and then obviously where we can think that it's going to end up in May, and then obviously the longer term price predictions for ANKR as well. So the first thing that we're going to talk about here is that we are looking to reclaim 15.9 cent. 15.9 cent is the area of the 618 Fibonacci retracement zone. We're going to have a potential pullback, in my opinion, down to 14.7, and then we're going to rally and take out the 15.9. Once we take out 15.9, we'll be having a firm target in our grasp of 17.2 cents. So these are the key areas that we are looking to take out immediately, and we're looking by the end of the week to try to reclaim 18.4. If we can get a weekly closed candle in the 18.4 cent area and just above that 786, then that should be a good key indicator for what is to come in the weeks to follow. And of course, Chris, the first price prediction for the month of May has to be, in our opinion, 30 cent. 30 cent represents a 101% move from the current position and is the first price target after we break out of this all-time high area just here. That comes in at 21.6. So the main areas of resistance that we're looking to kind of get through in order to get there has to be around that 618, the 786. And once we're past that with a weekly close in a really good, strong position, we should be able to pass straight on through their all-time high and go after that 30.8 cent. I think this is not going to be a quick step. It's not going to be a 7-day run or anything like that. I do think this is going to take a couple of weeks to get there, but the first price target for the month of May, in my opinion, Chris, has to be 30.8. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's really achievable. I think, it really depends because I kind of feel that, BTC is going to have the next leg up. So I think it's going to take the alts with it. I was expecting that to happen this month. I wasn't expecting so much of a dip towards the end of April. But yeah, going into May and then on into June, I think they're going to be really interesting months.
Absolutely. And of course, guys, after 30.8, we are talking about a 45.8 cent area. That's followed by 60.7 and then 69.9. So there are some pretty juicy price targets there for ANKR. Now, guys, I don't think that that's where ANKR is going to stop during 2021. I think ANKR has every opportunity to go on much higher. In my personal opinion, I wouldn't be too surprised if ANKR were to see a $2 ANKR coin during 2021. Now, I say this not lightly, but just based on the fact that ANKR is doing incredibly well. It has been, the number one validator for the Binance Smart Chain for a while now, and has been partnering up with many, many blockchains, and is working quite heavily with Ethereum 2.0 for staking as well. Now, in terms of what ANKR is up to here, they've got 6.9 billion ANKR in circulation supply. Now, that seems quite high, but actually it isn't as high as many of these other top 10 projects. So I can see ANKR quite easily passing $1, which would only be representing just under $7 billion in market cap. And $2 would represent just 14 billion. And I do think something like ANKR with a unique use case that is doing incredibly well using that hardware, that specific hardware that runs software within it directly, is a unique selling point for ANKR. And it is doing incredibly well, lots of integrations, and is becoming a very key player in the space. So I'm thinking $2, Chris, is something that we could see long term for ANKR during 2021. And that would represent 1,214% gains from the current position, which would be pretty juicy. And Chris, is there anything else that you would like to leave the guys with before we sign this video off today?
Yeah, just ANKR's going to do really well this year. I think we've seen some awesome growth, over 3,000% at its peak. So for me, still a long way to go, but yeah, I feel really passionate that this one's gonna do really well. Really like this project, Nick.
Fantastic. Guys, if you found this video useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all those new cryptocurrencies and hidden gems that we talk about, then do consider subscribing to the channel. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here at Cheeky Crypto. It is free, you'll stay well informed, so why not? And of course, if you hit that bell, you'll get all those juicy notifications and you won't miss a thing. Right, with all of that said and done, we hope you have a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Take care.